Good morning, Year 3. It's Wednesday the 10th of June. I hope you're well. Today's English task, our learning objective today, is to recap the main parts of a story and to recognise imperative verbs. So before we get on with our before we get on with our today's task, I would like you just to remind yourselves, what is an imperative verb? We used them before in our English lessons when we were in school, and we were writing instructions about the growing of the seeds. And can you remember what those imperative verbs were? Okay, they're bossy words. So the imperative verbs are the bossy words. We were thinking plant, grow, water, all those kind of bossy words that directly tell someone what to do. So I want you to just pause this video and I want you to put 1 minute on your timer, and I want you to make a big list of all the imperative verbs that you can think of. They don't just have to be related to cooking or to growing seeds. I want you to think of as many imperative verbs, those bossy doing words as you can. Chat, cut, paint, draw, stir. You've got 1 minute, pause the video, 1 minute, and then come back in and watch it again. I want you to be thinking about those imperative verbs as I read this Greek myth to you, the 12 Tasks of Heracles. Heracles was a tough little baby. Everybody loved him but Hera, Zeus's wife, who sent 2 snakes to kill him. But Heracles strangled both of them. For a while, Hera ignored Heracles. As he grew up, Heracles became stronger and stronger and stronger. He married and had many children. Hera hated him being so happy, so one night she put a spell on him. He lashed out with his sword, killing imaginary enemies. But when he awoke, he saw he had killed his own children. Heartbroken, Heracles went to the temple to seek forgiveness. The priestess said he could make amends by serving his old enemy, King Eurystheus. The king was frightened of Heracles, so he hid in a pot whenever he came near. And because he hated Heracles, he gave him 12 deadly tasks. First, Heracles had to kill a huge lion whose hide was so thick that no sword could penetrate it. Next, he had to kill the many-headed hydra whose very breath could kill man or beast. Thirdly, he had to capture the sacred golden-horned deer, an animal as quick as the wind. The 4th task was to catch a savage boar whose tusks could pierce any armour. Next, Heracles had to clean out in one night the vast and filthy stables of King Aegeus. He had to destroy a flock of man-eating birds which hid in a dangerous swamp. The 7th task was to capture the fire-breathing, marauding bull of Crete. Next, he had to steal Diomedes' horses, which were fed on human flesh. Then Heracles had to fetch the golden girdle worn by the queen of Amazon, warrior woman. The 10th task was to seize the monster Graean's cattle, guarded by his 2-headed dog. To collect 3 golden apples protected by a ferocious dragon. Heracles' 12th and last task was the most dangerous of all, to fetch the 3-headed guard dog, Cerberus, from hell itself. His 12 tasks completed, Heracles returned to the king Eurystheus. The king was dismayed to see him alive and quickly sent him packing. Then, to avoid angering the gods, Heracles sent Cerberus back to Hades. At the temple, Heracles was finally pardoned. He was content at last and stronger than ever, and Hera never bothered Heracles again. Then what I'd like you to do, Year 3, is draw out a table similar to this one, or print out the one that I've saved on the website. And I want you to draw in 2 columns. I'd like you to have what the 12 tasks of Heracles, and then the imperative verb. And what I'd like you to do is, in your own words, I would like you to write out what the 12 tasks were that Heracles had to take. And then what was the imperative verb used in each of those tasks. Okay, so I've saved a version for you to have a look or to check. But the first one was he had to kill a lion, and so the verb, the bossy word, the doing word, is to kill. Okay, the second one was to kill, or I'll leave it to you, but you check, you carry on.